Hey, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. If you're into numismatics, today we've got an exciting story that will absolutely blow your mind. We're talking about a rare coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now. That's right, we're diving deep into the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's been making waves recently with a market value that might just have you running to your coin jar. Hold tight, because this story is about a penny worth, a cool $1.40 million. Stay tuned, as we break down everything you need to know about this once-in-a-lifetime coin, how it got its million-dollar value, and if you're lucky enough to find one. You'll definitely want to stick around for the full journey, so make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss another deep dive into the world of coins. Alright, let's start from the beginning. The penny. You probably don't think much of it, after all, it's one of the least valuable coins in circulation today. But the 1981 penny is different, particularly one without a mint mark. You may be wondering, what does that mean? Mint marks are small letters stamped onto coins, usually found on the reverse side of U.S. coins, telling you where the coin was struck. The U.S. mint facilities have a few key locations, like Philadelphia, where most pennies are made, Denver, and San Francisco. These mint marks help collectors trace the origin of a coin. So, let's talk about the 1981 penny. Normally, the 1981 penny, like most Lincoln cents, has a mint mark, either a D for Denver or no mark if it's struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But, in this case, there was an incredibly rare occurrence where a number of 1981 pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. You see, it wasn't the norm. The 1981 pennies were supposed to have a D or be unmarked, as it was in Philadelphia. But some coins mysteriously came out without any mint mark, creating an immediate frenzy among collectors. But here's the thing, this wasn't some big mistake. It wasn't an error, per se, it was just an anomaly, a quirk in the production process that made these particular pennies stand out from the rest. Imagine this, after the 1981 pennies were released into circulation, nobody noticed anything special about them until much later, when eagle-eyed collectors started to see that some had no mint mark at all. At first, it was just a curious thing to spot. But as more collectors learned about it, word started to spread, and these rare pennies began to gain some serious attention. What makes these no mint mark pennies so unique is the extreme rarity. Out of the billions of pennies struck in 1981, only a small handful were missing their mint mark. It's estimated that only a couple hundred of these pennies were produced this way, and that rarity is key to their skyrocketing value. At first, these pennies didn't get much recognition. But as they started changing hands among numismatists and serious collectors, the price began to rise. Fast forward to today, and we're talking about a coin that's no longer just a curious oddity, it's a legendary find in the world of coin collecting. In 2018, a rare 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was sold at auction for a staggering $1.4 million. But that's not just because it's missing a mint mark, it's because this particular penny was in pristine condition. The coin was graded by experts at a perfect MS-68, which means it was in nearly perfect, uncirculated condition, essential for any coin that's going to reach astronomical values. For a penny, this is virtually unheard of. Most coins that age, especially pennies, have scratches, dings, or some wear and tear from circulation. But this penny? Flawless. Host. When you combine the rarity of a no-mint mark error with perfect condition, you get a coin that collectors will fight to own, and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. So, how can you tell if you found one of these rare pennies? First, let's clear up the basics. The 1981 penny should have no mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. If you look closely at your typical 1981 penny, you'll see a small D above the United States of America engraving if it was minted in Denver. If it's from Philadelphia, it might not have a mint mark, but most coins produced that year from Philadelphia still carry the mint mark. If there's nothing on the coin, well, that's when you need to be suspicious. If you think you've got one, check it for wear and tear. A penny that's been in circulation for years is likely to have scratches or fading. But if it's in mint condition, you're looking at a real treasure. It's always wise to have your coins graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC.so. What does all of this mean for you? If you find a 1981 penny with no mint mark, is it automatically worth $1 million? Not quite. While it's rare to find one, and even rarer to find one in mint condition, there's still plenty of value in 1981 no mint mark pennies that are in decent shape. Coins that aren't in perfect condition could still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. If you're just starting to collect coins, don't go selling your house to fund a coin search. But keep your eyes peeled. You never know, one of these pennies might just turn up in your pocket, and who knows? You could be holding on to a small fortune. So, there you have it. The 1981 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that might be sitting in your collection right now, is not only rare but could fetch an unbelievable amount of money. It's a great reminder that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it can be an investment. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share it with your fellow collectors, and leave a comment if you found any rare coins yourself. We'll see you next time with more exciting coin stories. Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector, or just a fan of rare finds, today's video is one you don't want to miss. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1973 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and you won't believe how much this rare coin could be worth today. Let's explore the history, rarity, and current market value of this stunning piece of American numismatic history. Close-up shots of a regular 1973 Lincoln penny and then the 1973 no mint mark penny. Before we get into the million-dollar details, let's first take a closer look at the 1973 Abraham Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent, first minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Lincoln's birth, has been a staple of American currency for over a century. By 1973, the U.S. Mint had already been producing these pennies for decades. Typically, pennies made at the U.S. Mint include a mint mark, a small letter placed on the coin to indicate which mint facility produced it. For example, D stands for the Denver Mint, and S represents the San Francisco Mint. But here's the catch, some 1973 Lincoln pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. Visuals, side-by-side comparison of a regular 1973 penny with a mint mark and a 1973 penny without a mint mark. In 1973, the mint mark was not always included, and while this wasn't uncommon for coins from certain years, what makes this 1973 penny so intriguing is that the no mint mark variety is incredibly rare. This brings us to our next point: why is this error so significant? A coin collector sorting through a coin collection, highlighting the 1973 penny. To understand the rarity of the 1973 no mint mark penny, we have to dive into some history. Typically, every penny produced in 1973 was made either at the Philadelphia Mint or the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint usually uses the D mint mark, and the Philadelphia Mint doesn't use a mint mark at all. But some of the coins from Philadelphia were accidentally struck with no mint mark, creating a special, rare variety of the coin. This error coin was not something that was intentionally made or released. It wasn't part of a batch of special commemorative coins, but rather an unexpected mistake in the minting process. The result? A tiny fraction of the 1973 Lincoln pennies were produced without the mint mark, and these coins are extremely hard to find today. Visuals, coin collectors and experts examining rare coins. Numismatists, or coin collectors, are always on the lookout for these unusual and error-struck coins. The rarity of the 1973 no mint mark penny, combined with its historical significance, makes it highly sought after by serious collectors, and that's where things get really interesting. Dollar bills transitioning into an image of a 1973 no mint mark penny with a $1 million sign flashing. Now let's talk about the big question: how much is a 1973 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth? While the majority of these error coins might be worth a few $100s, depending on their condition, there's one special 1973 no mint mark penny that has made headlines and left coin collectors stunned. Visuals, news clipping of the 1973 no-mint mark penny auction price rising. In recent years, a rare 1973 no-mint mark penny sold for an astonishing $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny, one that was struck without a mint mark, fetched a record-breaking amount at auction. This particular penny is in pristine, uncirculated condition and features remarkable features that make it truly unique. Visuals, footage of the actual penny sold for $1.3 million, showing its condition and unique features. What makes this penny worth such a hefty sum? First, it's the fact that it's so rare. Even though there are many 1973 no-mint mark pennies out there, most are not in perfect condition. The one that sold for $1.3 million was nearly flawless, an absolute gem in the coin world. The level of preservation, combined with the rarity of the minting era, created the perfect storm for this coin's extraordinary value. Clips of coin auctions, collectors searching for rare coins, and online marketplaces showing the 1973 penny for sale. So, let's talk about how you can get your hands on one of these valuable coins, or how you can figure out if you have one in your collection. First, it's important to note that not all 1973 no-mint mark pennies are going to be worth $1.3 million. The condition of the coin is absolutely critical. A coin in poor condition may only be worth a few dollars or so. If you're interested in finding one, start by carefully inspecting your 1973 pennies. Check for the absence of a mint mark. Remember, this error only occurs on pennies from the Philadelphia Mint. Look for signs of wear or any scratches that could reduce the coin's value. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it is. Visuals, coin expert examining a penny under a magnifying glass and showing how to spot the error. If you do come across one of these 1973 no-mint mark pennies, consider having it professionally appraised. You can contact numismatic experts or take it to a reputable coin dealer. Remember, even small imperfections can drastically affect the value, so it's important to handle your coins with care. Visuals, final recap of the 1973 no-mint mark penny alongside dollar bills. So, to wrap it up, the 1973 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a truly fascinating and rare coin. While most of these pennies are worth only a few dollars, a perfect, well-preserved example could fetch an unbelievable price at auction, as much as $1.3 million, in some cases. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. Thanks so much for joining me today on this deep dive into the 1973 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. If you found one of these rare coins, or if you're curious about other valuable coins in your collection, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what coins you're hoping to find next. Until next time, keep collecting, and remember, you never know what rare treasure could be hiding in your pocket. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of coins, history, or just fascinating discoveries, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about one of the most incredible finds in the world of numismatics, the 1985 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That I know what you're probably thinking, a penny worth $1.6 million. How is that even possible? Well, stick around, because we're diving deep into the details of this rare coin and exploring what makes it so special. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more coin-related content, and let's get started. Now, let's start with the basics. Most of us are familiar with the penny. It's the smallest and one of the most common coins in the U.S. Mint's collection. The 1985 penny typically features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the Lincoln Memorial on the back. However, what makes this particular penny so exceptional is the absence of the mint mark, the tiny letter indicating which U.S. Mint facility produced the coin. In the case of the 1985 penny, it was struck without any mint mark at all. Now, this might sound odd, but it's what sets this coin apart from the millions of other pennies produced that year. For those of you who don't know, a mint mark is typically found on the reverse side of the coin, either a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. If there's no mint mark, it's a big deal. So, what happened here? Why was this penny struck without a mint mark? Well, there are a few theories. You see, in 1985, most pennies were being minted in Philadelphia. But Philadelphia didn't usually put mint marks on coins they produced that year. Normally, the mint mark would go on coins struck at the other mints, like Denver or San Francisco, but in 1985, due to a few manufacturing mix-ups, some pennies were produced in Philadelphia without the P mint mark. As a result, a very small number of these 1985 pennies came into circulation without the distinguishing mark at all. This error immediately made these pennies rare and highly sought after by collectors. So, what does rarity mean in the world of coins? Well, when it comes to error coins like the 1985 no mint mark penny, rarity is a big factor in determining its value. But just because a coin is rare doesn't always mean it'll fetch a high price. To be clear, most 1985 pennies, even the ones with mint marks, are worth only their face value, 1 cent. But the story changes dramatically for those few pennies that slipped through the cracks without a mint mark. Out of the billions of pennies struck in 1985, it's believed that only a handful of these no mint mark errors exist. Due to that, these coins have quickly become extremely valuable. But just how valuable, you ask? Here's where it gets really interesting. In 2018, one of these rare 1985 no mint mark pennies was sold at auction for an astonishing $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. One penny, worth only a cent when it was first minted, now commands a price of over $1 million, but what makes this coin worth such a crazy amount? It all comes down to the combination of rarity, condition, and the demand from collectors who are eager to complete their sets of error coins. The fact that it's a mistake, coupled with the history behind it, just increases its appeal. Now, you might be wondering, is every 1985 no mint mark penny worth that much? Unfortunately, no. There are a few factors that go into determining a coin's value. Condition. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in how much it's worth. A penny in mint condition, like the one that sold for $1.6 million, will fetch a much higher price than one that's worn down or damaged. Rarity. As I mentioned before, this penny's rarity makes it incredibly valuable. There aren't many of these floating around, and that makes them highly sought after by collectors. Demand. The demand for rare coins like this one is also a driving factor. There are many collectors and investors out there willing to pay top dollar for a unique coin to add to their collection. If you're hunting for one of these rare coins, here's how you can identify it. Examine the date. First, check that the coin is from 1985. Make sure the year is clearly visible. Keep in mind that worn coins might be harder to read. Look for the mint mark. Check the reverse of the coin, specifically the area beneath the 1 cent text. If there's no mint mark there, you've got a potential gem on your hands. Condition. The value of these coins skyrockets when they're in pristine condition. The less wear and tear, the more valuable the coin becomes. So, let's say you find one of these elusive 1985 no mint mark pennies. Where can you sell it for a premium price? There are a few options. Coin auctions. Big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers frequently deal with high-end coins, including error coins like this one. Auctions give you a platform where you can find collectors who are willing to bid top dollar. Professional appraisers. If you're unsure about the value of your coin, consider getting it appraised by a professional numismatist. They can provide you with an accurate valuation based on the coin's condition and rarity. Coin dealers. Some specialized coin dealers may be interested in purchasing rare error coins directly, though it's important to do your research to ensure you're getting a fair price. To wrap it up, the 1985 no mint mark penny is a true treasure of the numismatic world. Whether it's the result of a minting error or a hidden mystery in the coin-making process, these rare pennies are worth their weight in gold, or, in this case, even more than gold. If you find one of these pennies in your change, don't just toss it in your jar. Get it checked out by a professional. It could be the start of a life-changing discovery. So, that's all for today, folks. The 1985 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny truly shows just how incredible the world of coin collecting can be. We hope you learned something new today about error coins, their value, and why some of them can fetch millions of dollars. Remember, always keep an eye out for those rare finds. Who knows, you might just be the next lucky person to stumble upon a coin that's worth a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your fellow coin enthusiasts. And if you've ever found an unusual coin, drop us a comment below, we'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting. A story about a small, seemingly ordinary penny, one that has a value that may shock you. It's not your everyday pocket change. In fact, one specific 1964 Abraham Lincoln penny has recently been sold for a staggering $1.1 million. So, how did this humble penny become a prized treasure? Stick around, because we're going to break down the story behind the 1964 Lincoln penny and why it's worth so much today. Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on our upcoming coin treasures. Now, let's talk about the 1964 Lincoln penny. A coin from over 60 years ago, but one that has a major story to tell, especially for those of us passionate about collecting rare coins. So, what makes this particular penny so valuable? The 1964 Lincoln penny is a product of the Denver Mint, which is where the mint mark comes from. Most of us are familiar with the penny. It's been in circulation for over a century, and it's typically worth just 1 cent. But when we start looking at specific years, mint marks, and unique characteristics of these coins, something interesting happens. Now, most 1964 pennies are actually very common. In fact, there were over 2.9 billion of these pennies minted that year. So why is one penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? The answer lies in an extremely rare and special error that occurred during the minting process. In 1964, the United States Mint was transitioning from using a heavier composition of copper to a more modern, lighter mix. But during this transition, something unusual happened at the Denver Mint. A very small number of 1964 pennies were struck with a very peculiar error, known as a double die error. What does this mean? Well, it refers to the way the die was engraved to create the image on the coin. Normally, the die used to stamp coins wears out a bit over time, and that causes slight distortion or wear. But in this case, the engraving machine accidentally stamped the design twice, causing a doubling effect. Can you see it? The liberty and in God we trust on the obverse of the penny are noticeably doubled. It's subtle, but it's there. And for those of us who know what we're looking for, this is a huge deal. The double die error is a rare anomaly in the coin world, and it significantly increases the value of the coin. Now, keep in mind, not all 1964 pennies are double die errors. In fact, most of them are perfectly normal. But for those lucky enough to find a double die penny, this small imperfection can turn a coin worth just 1 cent into a multi-million-dollar investment. The coin in question, the one that sold for $1.1 million, is a perfect example of how rare and valuable these mistakes can be. It was found by a collector who knew exactly what to look for and managed to obtain one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered. When the coin was finally auctioned off, it fetched a price that no one could have imagined. Now, you're probably wondering, how can you tell if your 1964 penny is one of these rare double die errors? Well, there are a few things to look for. First, examine the lettering closely. If you notice any doubling in the words liberty or in God we trust, you might be looking at a double die penny. The doubling effect should be clear to the naked eye, especially under magnification. Second, check the date. The doubling can also sometimes affect the numbers in the date 1964, though this is less common. But again, the key is the doubling of the letters on the obverse of the coin. Another thing to keep in mind is the condition of the coin. Rare errors in good condition are much more valuable than those in poor condition. So, if you have a 1964 D penny that has the double die error but is also in great shape, you could be looking at a big payday. So, how do you go about selling or appraising a coin like this? Well, it's a good idea to have a professional coin grader look at it. Companies like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can help authenticate and grade your coin. Once graded and authenticated, your coin will be listed with a recognized value. And depending on the grade, your 1964 D double die penny could be worth anywhere from hundreds to thousands or even millions of dollars. Now, you may be asking, how common are these double die pennies? Well, they're incredibly rare. Only a handful of 1964 D double die pennies have been found, and even fewer are in good enough condition to fetch the kind of money we're talking about today. That's why the $1.1 million sale is such a big deal. It shows just how much collectors are willing to pay for this kind of rarity. The coin world is full of surprises, and sometimes it's the smallest details, like a doubled Liberty, that can turn a coin into a priceless treasure. And who knows, maybe you have a 1964 D Lincoln penny in your own collection that could be worth millions. So, what do you think? Do you have any 1964 D pennies lying around that might have this rare double die error? If you do, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. But even if you don't have a penny worth millions, collecting coins is still an incredibly rewarding hobby. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, there's always something new to learn and discover. Thanks for tuning in today, everyone. If you learned something new, be sure to hit that like button, leave us a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with your fellow coin collectors. Until next time, keep searching for those hidden treasures, and who knows, you might just strike it rich with a rare coin of your own. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, it's not just about what you see on the surface. Sometimes, the value is hidden in the details. Hey there, coin collectors and history buffs. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got an absolutely jaw-dropping story about a coin you probably wouldn't think twice about if you found it in your change, the 1971 Abraham Lincoln penny. But this isn't just any ordinary penny. This little copper coin has become one of the most valuable, rarest, and most sought-after coins in the world, with a market value that has skyrocketed to a mind-boggling $1.2 million. That's right, a penny worth just 1 cent, could actually turn your life around if you happen to stumble upon it. Stick around as we dive deep into the story of the 1971 Lincoln penny, its mint mark, why it's worth so much, and how this penny made history in the coin collecting world. First things first, let's break down exactly what makes the 1971 penny so special. If you've ever taken a close look at a penny, you've probably noticed the mint mark on the reverse side. The mint mark is the small letter that tells you where the coin was produced. For example, D stands for the Denver Mint, S stands for the San Francisco Mint, and so on. Now, the 1971 penny has an S mint mark, which indicates that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. This penny might look like any other regular coin, but it's a rare gem. The 1971 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was minted from 1959 all the way through to 2008. But it wasn't just any year. 1971 was a transitional period for U.S. coinage, and it brought with it some interesting developments. But before we get into why this penny is worth so much, let's talk about the history of the Lincoln cent and how the San Francisco Mint came into play. The Lincoln Memorial penny, which debuted in 1959, was designed by Frank Gasparo, a talented engraver at the U.S. Mint. It replaced the wheat penny design that had been in circulation for nearly 50 years. The new design featured the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse, the famous Lincoln Memorial, which remains on the penny even today. By 1971, the U.S. Mint was making more pennies than ever before. However, during this time, there was an unusual and rare error that would change the fate of the 1971 Lincoln penny forever. So, here's where things get interesting. In 1971, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, which are coins struck with special care and precision for collectors. Proof coins are made with a shiny, mirror-like finish, and are usually produced in limited quantities. However, here's the catch: the 1971 penny wasn't supposed to be a regular coin for circulation, it was intended only for collectors, but a small number of these proof pennies were accidentally released into circulation. These proof coins were different from the usual pennies, not only in their shiny appearance but also in their design and composition. As a result, these coins were much rarer than their regular counterparts. So, you've got this shiny, almost flawless penny from 1971 with an S mint mark, which was supposed to be a collector's item, but it ended up in circulation. Now, as you can imagine, this created a perfect storm for collectors. These pennies are so rare because most of them were not meant to be in circulation at all. Over time, these rare pieces have become incredibly valuable. Now let's get to the real kicker. Why is this penny worth $1.2 million today? The value of the 1971 Lincoln penny skyrocketed when one of these accidental, proof pennies, in near-perfect condition, was sold for $1.2 million at an auction. This wasn't just any 1971 penny, this was an example of what's called a deep cameo proof coin. Deep cameo coins are extremely rare and have a stunning contrast between the shiny surfaces and the frosty relief of the coin's design. Now, you may be asking, how do I know if my 1971 penny is worth that much? Well, that's where it gets tricky. First, you need to check the coin's condition. The closer your penny is to a perfect proof state, the higher its value. If you find a 1971 penny in circulation, chances are it won't be in perfect condition, but it could still have some value depending on how well it's been preserved. Even a penny with some wear and tear could be worth a few dollars, but a flawless example could fetch a lot more. To really get a sense of whether you've got a valuable coin, you'll want to get it professionally graded by one of the major grading companies, like PCGS or NGC. These experts will assess the coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A coin that scores high on this scale, especially in the deep cameo category, could potentially be worth a fortune, but remember, not every 1971 penny is going to be worth that much, so don't start thinking you're going to be a millionaire just yet. However, if you do find a well-preserved 1971 penny, you could be sitting on a valuable collectible, even if it's only worth a few $100s or more. So what can you do with your 1971 penny if you find one? First, get it evaluated by a professional, like I said earlier. You'll want to get a certified grade and look for any special characteristics that might make your penny stand out, such as its glossy finish or any unusual features. Now, keep in mind that the $1.2 million sale was an extraordinary case. But even less pristine 1971 pennies can be worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars, especially if they are in exceptional condition. And with so many collectors looking for these rare pennies, their value has continued to rise. So, what's the takeaway here? Don't overlook that coin jar or your spare change. The 1971 penny is just one example of how something so small and seemingly insignificant can hold immense value. If you happen to have one in your collection, or even find one while going through your change, it might just be worth a lot more than you think. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this coin mystery, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories about rare coins, history, and how you can turn your own collections into treasures. And remember, one man's penny is another man's fortune. What if I told you that a seemingly common 1990 penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, believe it or not, this rare coin has a huge story behind it. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the 1990 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, uncover its mystery, and explore why it could fetch a staggering amount of money at auction. Stay tuned, because this is one coin you won't want to miss. When you think of a penny, what comes to mind? Most people probably picture the standard copper-colored coin with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" stamped above his head. Flip it over, and you'll see the familiar Lincoln Memorial, along with the word 1 cent, it's the kind of coin we use every day and rarely give a second thought. But what if I told you that there's one 1990 penny out there that could change your financial future forever? You see, the 1990 penny is like any other in terms of design, with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, what makes this particular penny special has nothing to do with its design, but rather its minting, or rather, the lack of it. You might already know that pennies are minted at one of the U.S. Mint's locations, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Each coin typically carries a mint mark, indicating where it was produced. However, some coins don't have a mint mark at all. In 1990, something unusual happened at the Philadelphia Mint. A number of pennies were struck without a mint mark, which is extremely rare. These coins were supposed to bear the P mint mark to indicate they were made in Philadelphia, but an error in the production process led to a small batch of pennies being released with no mint mark. This omission immediately turned these pennies into a mystery. Were they an error? Were they a mistake, or was it something more intentional? It wasn't until the mid-2000s that collectors started noticing these coins popping up. It was like a secret treasure hunt, and once the word got out, everyone in the numismatic world went wild. A penny without a mint mark from 1990 is now considered an extremely rare error coin. Now, let's talk about the value. A typical 1990 penny is worth, well, 1 cent, just as you'd expect. But the rare 1990 no mint mark penny is a whole different story. These error coins are not easy to come by, and when they do surface, they're often graded by professional coin grading services to determine their authenticity and quality. A mint condition 1990 no mint mark penny can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended, ranging from thousands to even millions of dollars. In 2018, a 1990 no mint mark penny in excellent condition was sold at auction for a staggering $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million for a single penny. How did it get that high? Well, there are several factors that contribute to the value of such a coin. First, rarity. The number of 1990 no mint mark pennies that have survived in good condition is incredibly small. While it's difficult to pinpoint an exact number, estimates suggest that only a handful of these coins remain. This scarcity drives up demand among collectors and investors. Second, it's all about the error itself. Error coins have always been highly prized by collectors because they are considered unique pieces of history. The fact that the U.S. Mint made such a significant mistake, striking an entire batch of pennies without a mint mark, only adds to the allure of these coins. It's almost like finding a mistake in a famous painting. The imperfection makes it even more valuable. Another critical factor in the coin's value is its grade. Coin grading is a system used to evaluate the condition of a coin, and it can drastically impact its market price. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. A 1990 no mint mark penny in mint condition, graded 65 or higher, can easily demand a high price at auction. For example, the coin that sold for $1.7 million was in almost perfect condition, graded MS 67, mint state 67, which is an incredibly high grade. With a high-grade coin, you're not just buying the error, you're buying an investment in something that will only grow in value over time, as fewer and fewer of these coins remain in circulation. So how can you tell if you've got a 1990 no mint mark penny in your collection? The easiest way is by looking at the coin's reverse. Normally, the penny would have a D or S mint mark there, but in the case of the 1990 no mint mark error coin, it will be absent. Next, examine the coin's condition. Is it clean and uncirculated? If so, it could very well be worth more than just 1 cent. If you find one, it's best to take it to a professional coin grader who can authenticate and assess its value. But remember, this coin is rare, and most pennies you find will not be the elusive 1990 no mint mark penny. So, whether you're a casual collector or a serious investor, the world of rare coins can be both exciting and rewarding. Who would have thought a simple penny, produced decades ago, could turn into $1 million treasure? The 1990 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, sometimes the smallest details can lead to the greatest rewards. And there you have it, everything you need to know about the 1990 no-mint Mark penny and why it's worth a mind-blowing $1.7 million. Make sure to check your pockets, your change jar, and your coin collection, because you never know when you might come across a rare gem. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more awesome content on rare coins and collectibles. Happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and curious collectors. Have you ever thought a penny could be worth more than just 1 cent? Well, get ready for an extraordinary journey today as we dive into the rarest, most valuable penny you might have in your collection, the 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right. A penny from 1982, with no mint mark, can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. So, stick around because what we're about to discuss might just blow your mind. At first glance, it might look like just another penny, right? A regular, everyday coin that we see in our pocket change. But when you examine this penny a little closer, you'll find that it is no ordinary coin. This is one of the most sought-after and valuable pennies in the history of American coinage. The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Before we dive into its immense value, let's first take a quick look at the history behind this penny. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a significant change in the production of pennies. They switched from using 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc composition for cost-saving reasons. So, you had two different types of 1982 pennies, those made of copper and those made of zinc. The big deal? Some pennies that year were minted without the usual mint mark, either from the Philadelphia Mint or other mints. Now, every year, the U.S. Mint places a mint mark on coins to indicate where they were made. For most coins, this is either the D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or none at all for coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Normally, we expect Philadelphia minted coins to have no mint mark. But here's the twist. In 1982, a small number of pennies came out with no mint mark when they should have had one, and this oversight would soon set the stage for a collector frenzy. Coin collectors first noticed this anomaly and started digging deeper. They realized that some pennies from 1982, originally believed to be from the Philadelphia Mint, were actually missing the mint mark altogether. This meant that these coins were part of an error batch, leading to their incredible rarity. And when a coin is rare, its value skyrockets. So, why exactly is the 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a fortune? Well, rarity is one of the biggest factors that contribute to a coin's value. Imagine a coin that was only minted in very small numbers, or perhaps by mistake. There is something truly special about owning a piece of history, especially when it was never supposed to exist in the first place. Since the discovery of the 1982 no-mint Mark penny, demand among collectors has been through the roof. There are only a few of these coins known to exist, and in the world of numismatics, that's the study or collection of coins, the rarer the coin, the higher the price. Some of these pennies have been auctioned for prices that most people can only dream of. In fact, one such coin has even been valued at an astounding $1.5 million. When it comes to rare coins like the 1982 no-mint Mark penny, it's not just about having the coin, it's about the story behind it. People are drawn to these rarities because they represent a piece of the past, a time when something unusual happened. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar because of the coin's uniqueness and historical value. $1.5 million is no small sum, but in the world of rare coins, it's considered a steal for something so rare and elusive. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these coins, it's crucial to have it authenticated by a professional. Counterfeit coins and misidentified pennies can easily be mistaken for this rare find. The 1982 no-mint Mark penny has been verified through rigorous inspection, ensuring it's the real deal. But remember, just because your penny doesn't have a mint mark, it doesn't automatically mean it's worth $1.5 million. The condition of the coin also plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The higher the grade, the higher the value. A mint condition 1982 no mint mark penny could fetch the highest price, while one that's worn down or heavily damaged will be worth considerably less. Some of the most valuable examples of the 1982 no mint mark penny are in mint condition, rated as MS 65 or higher. These coins have sharp, clear details and show little to no signs of wear. If you're holding on to one of these rare beauties, get it professionally graded and authenticated because it could mean the difference between a few dollars and $1 million windfall. Now, if you're wondering whether you could have a $1.5 million penny sitting in your collection, it's important to know where to look and what to do next. Start by carefully checking any 1982 pennies you have, especially those from Philadelphia. Look for that missing mint mark. If you think you found one, the first step is to have it authenticated by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Once authenticated, you can either sell the coin at an auction, to a private collector, or through specialized marketplaces. But keep in mind, handling rare coins requires care, so always ensure they're stored safely and avoid cleaning them, as it can diminish their value. So, there you have it, the amazing story of the 1982 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that went from being a mere penny to a multi-million-dollar treasure. Remember, the next time you find yourself with a handful of change, don't overlook that penny, it could be worth far more than you think, and if you enjoyed this fascinating coin story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries. Who knows, maybe your next find will make you a millionaire. Until next time, happy collecting.